We're back here at Gander Green Lane, where in 2002, of course, very historic site for AFC Wimbledon, where these days we find Ricky Wellard. Ricky, what are you up to now?
So now I'm coaching full-time, playing part-time, based here at the ground, currently coaching the under-23 set-up and the academy. We range from under-19s down to under-17.
And in terms of, let's turn the clock back a little bit as well, when AFC Wimbledon came knocking, we're just talking about Terry Brown as well.
Yeah.
You were a promising footballer and a groundsman at Ashford Town in Middlesex. What happened next?
Yeah, it's going back a few years there. I had my blonde highlights, etc. For those that remember, but yeah, just coming up through non-league, my local side. I was very lucky with Terry Brown. Obviously, come sniffing. I was meant to sign the previous year of when I actually did. I stayed at Ashford for another year, and then obviously Brownie come back. I'm very grateful for him for doing so. Managed to have a good few years there and then go on from there, really.
His persistence won through in the end, didn't it? Because he said it took a few attempts to get you.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I'd like to have gone the season before. Obviously, things didn't quite work out at the time, and I was still quite a bit young then. Didn't quite really understand the world outside of football, if you like. I just obviously concentrated on playing. But yeah, thankfully, he did persevere, and I owe him a lot for that. I do owe him a lot because he was the one who gave me my opportunity of going professional. You know, and I see him recently at an exit trial over at Woking, and it's good to see him again. I said thank you, for the time back then. So yeah, I do owe him a lot in that respect.
How much did it excite you getting into the project at the time? Because Wimbledon were on the rise, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a local boy, and in my era, Wimbledon, massive club, big following, great fan base. Even when they go and play, we used to go and play away from home. Travel in massive numbers, hundreds and hundreds. So as soon as they come knocking, you sign for them. You don't think twice. You don't think about anything else. You just go and sign. So for me, growing up, watching them rise, and then to go and play for them was a dream come true, really.
How much did you become aware of the fact that the importance of the fans they played in the role of this club?
Yeah, the fans are the club. The fans are the club. That was made very clear from day one, from Brownie, from everyone around. Your first home game, you've got volunteers everywhere. You've got, people making you feel welcome. It's a very friendly atmosphere club. From minute one, instantly the fans are the driving force behind the club, and that's what makes it so successful, I think.
So in your time with Wimbledon, we'll come to Manchester in a minute, but what were the best games for you?
My Football League debut was a game I'll never forget. It didn't end too great. I think it was the if I remember rightly now, it was the live game on Sky Sports against Bristol Rovers. We ended up losing. I think it was 3-2, and that was my Football League debut, and that was one that I'll always remember. Because as a young professional with my boys at work now, it's their dream to go and play in the Football League. I was lucky to make it for a short period of time, but my Football League debut was up there along with the Manchester game, or Planet Manchester with the Luton game. Those two, I'd say, would be the standout games for me.
The Wimbledon of old, of course, as well. It was sort of famed for its camaraderie and its team spirit. What was the group of players you were like with?
Yeah, it's something that I'll always try and replicate. I'm coaching at the moment, but with teams that I have here, we'll always try and replicate the same or similar sort of dressing room. We had a good mix between. You had a few older heads. You had your Jamie Stewarts, your Brett Johnsons, your Yaks, your Danny Kedwell leading the line, and then we had it mixed in with a few younger, hungry players. Myself, Stephen Gregory, Sammy Hatton, Sammy Moore, Tooks. It was a good blend, and that's what Brownie did really well. He got what I thought at the time was the best young up and coming players in and around the area, blended in with a few older heads, experienced, and it just gelled really, really well.
So coming up to that day in Manchester, of course, that we got on a bit of a roll. It was James Mully as well was getting in the team. You had to go out on it, but you got your form back, and you got in the starting lineup that day. Yeah,
that's right. It happens in football. I lost my place in the side midway through the season, and I had to go out on loan. Fortunately, I went to Cambridge United. It was another big club. Funny enough, I was literally a day away from signing from someone else. It was a lower league club, and it just didn't feel quite right. And then Cambridge come in with a loan, It felt right, and I went. I stayed away from home for a bit. It made me grow up quicker, and luckily for that, I come back a stronger person, better player. Terry come back and say play. I played and then managed to keep my place right up until the playoff final.
So you played 3 quarters of that game, the big day at Manchester. What were your memories of that day?
To be fair, when you're actually playing, it's hard to take everything in. To be honest, it does feel a bit like a blow. It was over. I'm sure other players have said that it seems to go really, really quick. The actual game itself, you're so focused on your own job, the bigness of the game. It just sort of passes you by a little bit, but the whole week was really great. We got to train on the pitch as well. We trained on the pitch the day before. The whole occasion was really, really good.
Because it was a tight game as well. I mean, when you then came off and you have to be on the bench with the rest of the lads for extra time and the penalties as well, you want to be out there being a part of it, don't you? That must have been tough.
Yeah, well, it's more nerve-wracking watching. So coming off after 70 minutes and watching the boys and watching the penalties, trust me, that's more nerve-wracking, I think, than actually playing yourself. You know, I get to experience that a little bit now of being in the dugout when my youngsters are playing, and it is you feel less in control. You know, you'd rather be out there playing. You feel like you've got some control over the impact a bit more. But that day itself, going back to that, once it got through to penalties, we just had this feeling really. It never was really in doubt, and I don't know if other players have said that, but all through the playoffs, all through the build-up, all through the penalties, without really knowing how, we just kind of knew that we was going to win. So even through it down, when we went down to penalties, yeah, we were nervous, but you just kind of felt like it was going to happen.
How much does it stay with you? Can you still see those moments when Seb Brown makes the saves, when Danny Kedwell scores the winning penalty?
Yeah, well, I'm lucky. I obviously get to see Seb. He's down at Sutton as well. He's trying to pull funny faces at me now. Gonna get him over in a minute. But yeah, I owe Seb a lot. He done brilliant for us. Fantastic goalkeeper, and he should still be playing. You have to ask him why he's not. Why he's not. But yeah, and Keds, it was very fitting, wasn't it? You know, if you want anyone taking the winning penalty to get you up to the Football League, I don't think anyone that knows Wimbledon would have picked anyone else other than Danny Kedwell. And he goes and rifles it in the top corner. He doesn't even look like he's going to flinch. So yeah, one local, with Seb being a Wimbledon fan, saving some penalties, and then Keds getting to top it off. It was just, the whole thing was just written really, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, from what you can tell us, what clean stories can you tell us got happened after the celebrations afterwards?
A lot of alcohol, a lot of celebration after. To be fair, me and Keds, we after the initial on the pitch celebrations, me and Keds, we had to go and do our drugs testing. So we was ushered away straight by the FA, and we had to sit in a room with 2 other Luton players. So, and it took a while for us to come back out. We was in there for a good half an hour, 45 minutes. So by the time me and Keds come back out, we'd missed quite a bit of the initial celebration, which was a bit. But yeah, it was a bit weird. Me and Keds sitting in there, all obviously excited, and then the other 2 were obviously very down. But following that, we all went to Vegas, which was another unbelievable trip, unbelievable experience. Everyone made it out there. It was just perfect. It was a perfect 5 days really.
And then the enormity of the fact that, hey, we're going to be a Football League club. This club's, achieved what it set out to do to get back its Football League place. How much did that hit you? Are you going to be a professional footballer with them?
Yeah, I think initially it probably didn't sink in straight away. Then once you come back after the summer break and go back into pre-season, and you're seeing the fixture lists. I think when the fixture lists come out and you're thinking, cool, we're going. We had Plymouth away, Shrewsbury. Some big clubs. I think when you see that fixture list come out, you think, cool, we're back in the Football League now.
So for yourself, though, I mean, obviously time thing moves on as well. When did you kind of know it was coming to an end and you were going to move on? I think it was pretty mutual at the time for me, or for quite a lot of players. Towards the end of that season, I think, if I remember rightly, quite a lot of us moved on when I left. I think it was quite a big overhaul. We
which is understandable. I think obviously Terry, he wanted to go in a certain direction. He maybe felt certain players had done their time at the football club and needed to be moved on elsewhere, which was part and parcel of football. But probably, you know, the last month or so of the season, I think people started getting an idea of you know, time to move on.
And it's Cambridge you went back to, yeah?
Yeah, Cambridge. So obviously I had a successful loan, and then they come back in, signed a couple of years up there, and end up moving up there. And that got done pretty quick after the season finished.
I mean, and of course you were sort of born in the great year for Wimbledon, 1988. You're only 30 now, and you're still playing for Wealdstone. Yeah,
so turned 30 last week, and still playing. Just finished my second season at Wealdstone. Had an okay season. We just got beat by Brackley over 2 legs in the FA Trophy semi-final. So good to go that deep in the cup. A bit gut wrenching being one place from Wembley, which is hard to take. But overall, okay season. Looking to push on again next year. But still looking to play. Yeah, definitely.
You mentioned Seb as well, but I mean, do you still stay in touch with a few of the lads from your time?
Yeah, so we've got a WhatsApp promotion group. You've got your likes of Maney, Keds, Brett Johnson, Ed Harris, Seb. There's quite a lot in there. Lee Minsell, they're all in there. A date keeps trying to get organised for a catch up, but everyone's always got something on. It's difficult to arrange, but we still stay in contact. Speak to Sammy Hatton. Like I say, unfortunately, I see Seb most days. But yeah, like I say, it was a real close knit group that year, and it's something that has stuck with me. And I always try and emulate it, or try and get my dressing room similar to it as I go into my coaching career. We was all there for one common thing, and that was to win, and we enjoyed it as well.
Is that the future for you now? That's the coaching side of it you really want to progress to?
Yeah, it is at the moment. Been coaching for 5 years now. Started with the younger ones, as you do. Started at the bottom with, I think my first session was with an under-9s team. And slowly got older and older, and now going through into under-23 sides. We've been here for 3 years now. Under-23s and under-19s. We had the luxury of, we took the Sutton first team in a couple of the in the Surrey Senior Cup, which was a great experience. I was very thankful for the club for letting us do that, and it's a great experience for some of our younger lads to play in with the first team. And we've got a few of our stronger under-23s in training with the first team every day. So the club's in a great place. We've got some good local strong boys, and just looking to push on really. And
as of course Wimbledon move up as well, you've still got that link, which is kind of important to have with AFC Wimbledon Academy.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously with Wimbledon being down the road, and I've got quite a good relationship with Mark Robinson over at AFC, and we still speak to him, you know, every couple of weeks about players, etc. And if players aren't necessarily being kicked on over at AFC, I have signed probably 5 or 6 boys that have not been offered pros over at Wimbledon, and I've managed to get them in with me, which has been really good. They've been really successful. So it's a relationship that I think works both ways. It's very positive.
And what do you make of the story now? They've survived another season in League One. They're moving back to Plough Lane. It's great times for the club, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, obviously watch the results quite closely. Really chuffed that he's managed to keep the place in League One and give it another crack next season. Like you say, great for the fans to go back to Plough Lane. Even when, you know, I first signed going back a few years ago, there was a real strong feeling amongst the fans at Plough Lane. You know, was always on the cards. So really pleased that they get to do that. But yeah, for next season, hopefully they can push on into League One again.
Absolutely, Ricky. It's been an absolute pleasure catching up with you.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.